Tommy Robinson has been having an absolute field day over on X, destroying a number of Muslims who want to say that Islam is the one true religion. I seem to hear that quite a lot, actually, especially over on X. But all Tommy Robinson has had to do is, well, share the actual obvious. This is what Islam is all about. This is what your beloved false prophet was all about. This is what he did. Muhammad's life spoke for itself, and it was all recorded down for us. And this is the man that Muslims revere. This is the man that Muslims love to quote, love to cite. The man was illiterate. He didn't write anything down. He had other people write it down for him. This is a man that was railed all night long by the men of our Zut. Strange story, right? Maybe Muslims have missed that particular story. And this is the same man, Muhammad, that put his aroused, erect, you know what, into the you know what of a 9-year-old child who happens to be his best friend's daughter. How is that not evil? And I don't love it, but I mean, it's always amazing to me how Muslims will try and say that Mary was only 12 or 13 at the time, and Joseph was like 90. I saw a Muslim imam, if you want to call him that, try and school a preacher on this. And the Bible doesn't record for us Joseph's age. And it's a vastly different account, right, to that of Muhammad. But these Muslims, they will try and justify their beloved prophet's actions by saying, well, what about Joseph and Mary? See, didn't Joseph grape Mary to have Jesus? Like, the Muslims are crazy, right? They'll go, well, but the prophet Muhammad, he like, they will completely gloss over the fact that he graped a 9-year-old girl. Oh, he married her at 6, but he waited a couple of years. He waited 3 years before he consummated the marriage. Good on the Prophet Muhammad for waiting 3 years. It must have annoyed him to wait 3 years, wouldn't it? But then they try and equate what Muhammad did and try and justify that and say, well, Christians, Mary and Joseph, Mary was young, very, very young, according to what records exactly? Joseph was going to not marry Mary because he found out that Mary, she was with child. He did nothing. But according to the laws of that day, it would have been perceived as, wrong. So he was going to put her away, not marry her quietly because he's a good man. But an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph and told Joseph that the child that is in Mary is that of who? The Son of God. Hence why Joseph didn't touch Mary until after she gave birth to Jesus. And it would have been a little longer after that too. Believe you me. So, no, Joseph was not a PDF file like Muslims try and make him out to be. He was a just and a godly man, the father, the earthly father of Jesus. So was Mary, the mother of Jesus. Jesus was born of a virgin. That's the story. Muhammad graping a 9-year-old. That's totally different. There is no equivalence at all. None whatsoever. So why Muslims try and use that, it's beyond me. It really is beyond me. So apparently, 1,400 years of brutal Islamic invasion of Christian lands were because of Zionism, aka Judaism. So there's lots of these memes coming around saying that Zionism or the Jews are responsible for creating terrorist groups and all that sort of stuff. It's not that the Quran specifically states for them to go out and kill Christians and Jews. No, the Jews came up with that on their own. The Jews were responsible for creating the Quran, right? But yet Muslims find offense to that. But yet they love blaming the Jews for creating terrorist groups, which is amazing to me. I don't know how that actually works, but nevertheless, guys, and they'll like to say, "Yes, hey Grok," this is from Jake Shields, who is basically an Islamist, pro-terrorist. It's amazing to me. But he's going, "Hey Grok, what Middle Eastern country has the most grapes per capita?" And of course, Israel does. You know why? Because they report their grapes. Guess what? Muslim countries do not. Just so you're aware, Dingbat, they don't report them because it's actually considered normal in their beloved religion. Your prophet literally captured, ransomed, and had you know what with women and girls, as they are nothing but war booty. This is Tommy Robinson ripping into yet another dingbat Muslim on X. Humanity first. Criminals and bandits do not represent Muslims. The Prophet Muhammad, he taught a Muslim is one from whose tongue and hands people are safe. Sahih Bukhari. These attackers violate every principle of Islam. Right. I'm sure they do. It's interesting to me because Muslims in Christian countries are allowed to do whatever they want. But Christians in Muslim countries, they get beheaded. Just wanted to point that out and show you that. And by the way, Jesus never raped nor kidnapped any children. I like to think that we live in an age where we can agree that kidnapping and, you know what, assaulting and abusing schoolgirls is an evil act. No matter at what point in history it's evil, pure and simple. Apologists for a 7th century PDF file warlord Sand Pirate will disagree, obviously. Yes. It's amazing. That's from Tommy Robinson. So, like I said in the very beginning of this, Muslims will try their very best to defend a liar known as Muhammad. The Prophet Muhammad was great by the men of Al-Zut. Al-Zut. You know why they've got their bums in the air? This is from Samantha. It's because they're ready. They're ready for, you know what, to be inserted. Yes. Jake Shields goes, Muslims don't hate Christians. So I'm not sure what the point of this is. Muslims don't hate Christians. Right. So is that why we had 1,400 years of Muslim occupation and dominion? I mean, wasn't the whole Crusades to stop the Muslims and to take back the Holy Land? Oh, Muslims don't hate Christians, do they? So they weren't killing Christians left, right, and center for many, many years? Or Jews? Why doesn't anyone really talk about the land that Muslims conquered for years? Why don't they talk about that? I wonder. And this is like absolutely ridiculous from Jake Shields. I don't know where he's getting his so-called facts from. In the past, Christian countries have killed 2 million Muslims. Muslims have killed less than 100,000 and mostly in Africa. This does not mean I want to flood Muslims into our country, but they aren't our biggest enemy. Mate, are you for real? Have you looked at history? I don't think you have, Jake. Maybe you should. Maybe you should look at history and see exactly what Muslims have done. And even Muhammad, during his time, during his reign, started 83 war conquests. He was a warmongering, like Tommy said, sand pirate PDF file. That's what he was. And also illiterate. He was also gay. If you're getting railed by men all night long, and that story was recorded for all of us, yes, you're gay. Tommy Robinson also goes, why do some followers of the religion of peace get so offended when an obvious truth is pointed out to them? Because they know how bad it actually is and you can't defend it. Just saying. Can we just put aside our differences and say that having, you know, what with a child is evil? Can we please agree on that? I'm not asking for much, surely. By the way, Jeffrey Epstein's youngest victim was 5 years older than Prophet Muhammad's. Both still horrible, by the way. Both still evil, by the way, just in case you were wondering. One's not better than the other, just in case you were wondering. This person, and I'll finish on this, goes, I was born Muslim. I don't know how anyone can be born Muslim, but anyway, I wasn't born Christian. Just saying, I was born into a Christian family. You can say you were born into a Muslim family. But then she's going, in a Muslim family. No one's born Christian, or you're born sinner. That's where you're born. Anyway, under a Muslim government, I'll never move to a city where Muslims are the majority again. Once they become the majority, they don't just live their beliefs, they start imposing them on everyone around them. Called Sharia law. Love? Yes. Thank you for telling us. People don't realize that expansion and dominance are not fringe ideas in Islam. They're backed into the ideology. Islam is not separable or separate from politics or the state, like Christianity is, by the way. The Prophet Muhammad's life and the hadith that Muslims are told to model themselves after includes around 80 wars. Yes. Westerners are committing, you know what, suicide by inviting this ideology into their institutions, their politics, and their offices, and pretending it's just another private belief system. That's not how this works. No. You ever heard of jihad? Psychological jihad? It means they're going to war. They're more than happy to wait for a period of time, but then, boom, once you've let them in, they're in, man. And they'll take over. And the biggest lie and deceit of them all is that, hey, they're peaceful. Some are, sure, not all. So don't give me that crap. Don't. If a Muslim comes up to you and starts defending Muhammad, you should worry. But if they don't, you can actually go, all right, fair enough, you got common sense. Like the Imam of Peace. Probably the only Muslim, one of the only Muslims, I should say, that I like. That's saying something. Anyway, that's enough from me, but you guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.